and he obviously couldn't talk about it loosely because he had a therapist at his feet. In all fairness, he was with his pregnant wife, who was also having, that kind of well-needed pedicure after 8 months of being enormously overweight on his feet. So we were having one of those really ridiculous conversations where we're trying to understand each other's code over the phone. And then we kind of, he decided that he had to go and, finish up, whatever. and then I had the conversation with Stephen, and he kind of explained it all to me, and and then that was it. We're off filming. I found the script quite hard to understand, if I'm honest. I always find Stephen's scripts harder to understand. My brain is unwired like that. Winston, my son, has that brain. I don't possess it. So I'm always a bit endlessly having to call David to ask him to break it down for me, because he is wired that way. And how great to kind of come back as this totally different thing.
And to work with John Hurt.
Oh my God, I know.
And
to drink with John Hurt at night. Yeah, and to watch him, just really in awe of what David and Matt were doing, and that he was part of that, and he was so impressed with them. And he's a lovely guy. He's really funny as well.
Excellent. Marvellous. Right. I'm going to throw the questions over to you guys in the audience. There's a microphone. Oh, look at them go. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Oh my God, someone's down.
Someone's already down. Can we have the lights on, please, so the audience can actually see the microphone? Oh, it's the mic that fell on the floor. They're replaceable, people aren't.
Oh, love, are you all right?
Okay, seriously, can we have the lights on, please?
Yay!
Right. Can vaguely see people queuing up, sort of. All those big spotlights. It's like being in a football stadium with those lights, isn't it?
I know, it's great.
Okay, so who's got the first question for Billie? Off you go.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, she's on. I was bellowing over her, so. Uh-oh. Classic.
It's on now.
Yeah.
How did you like being Bad Wolf in the 50th anniversary?
Oh, yeah, good question. I loved it. I thought it was a really, really interesting, slightly confusing for me, take on Rose and her place and her kind of relevance, and I thought it was mostly it was a really exciting and a treat for the fans. I thought, yeah, I loved it.
Thank you.
Oh, sweetheart.
I'd love to hear a story maybe about what it was like working with Dave and John Barrymore.
Oh,
I bet
yeah.
you have some stories. One or two?
Yeah, I mean, John is filthy, as you all know. He is just all levels of wrong. What can I tell you that's not just so,
All I'll tell you is there are children in the audience.
I know, I can't go that far, but I'm sure you can imagine. A lot of it is, yes, exactly, blue Doctor Who. Yeah. It's definitely a story for the adults. And what can I tell you about David? I mean, I suppose working with David is it's like working with one of your oldest friends and also one of the greatest actors, because he is so committed and so in love with Doctor Who, and I think it's why he could keep on doing it. It's a really long job. It's 9 months in Cardiff, and if I'm honest, that's one of the reasons I wanted to leave. I just couldn't be away from my family for that long.
What's wrong with Cardiff?
Nothing. No, I love Cardiff, I love Wales, and I love the Welsh. I've covered that. No, it's just that I think being away from all of your friends for 9 months and your family is just hard. And also, we shot really long hours, and I just found it really exhausting. But David is so dedicated to Doctor Who, you know, and he just, I bet he can't, I don't think he can believe that he had the opportunity. So working with someone who is that kind of in love with it was thrilling, you know, that's a really rare thing. So we had joyous times together. It's like a brother really, David, to me.
Oh, that's nice.
But as I said, now that we've got families, it's just like, we barely talk at all. I saw him the other day before he went away to film, and we got all our kids together, and it's lovely, you know. And obviously my kids call him the Doctor. Actually, he narrates a documentary called Earthflight, and it's all about birds migrating, and obviously Winston is obsessed with that. It's just what he likes. And so he was actually more keen to engage with David's voice than the fact that he was the Doctor, because he's obsessed with this Earthflight. Anyway, yeah, we're firm friends. That was a really long answer, sorry.
If you can be a companion to any Doctor for one last episode, and it can be any Doctor, whether past or present or even future, which one would it be and why?
Do you know, I think I'm going to say, I think I would love to have a chance with Peter. Because, new Doctor, yeah, because I have admired him for years, and you know, I've had wonderful times with David and Matt and Chris, but it's time for something new. Yeah, I think that would be awesome. I think he's incredible.
The campaign starts here.
Here it begins.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. In the 50th, what was your most favorite moment working with John, David, and Matt?
I don't even know what makes those days as hilarious as they are. It's usually hysteria just sets it, and enormous wind machines, people saying their lines with their hair like this, everybody else trying to hold it together. You know, that barn we shot all the stuff in with the moment was just, you know, it was a combination of the hops everywhere, dust in our eyes. I mean, I don't know what makes those days ridiculously funny, but they are. And quite often for no good apparent reason at all. Or one of us has to say a line that then becomes obsessively, I don't know. Yes, it's all pretty ridiculous. Sorry, I can't be more specific.
Brilliant, thank you. Who's next?
What would you say are some differences and similarities between you and Rose?
I would say that I think there are more similarities with me and Rose than differences, because I think I'm quite curious as a person, quite fearless in some respects, would quite easily walk out the door and go on some, you know, wild adventure with someone. Less so now, but in the past. And I'm quite front-footed and quite bolshy like her. Yeah. So differences, I'm not sure that there are any really.
Do you think that Russell and the other teams of writers started to change Rose as they went on to fit your personality, or do you think they kept a straight line all the way through and you fitted into that?
I don't really know, but I would say that I imagine that they start to write with your personality in mind. Do you know what I mean? And I was thinking about this earlier about like the relationship between me and the Doctor and whether that was planned and whether that was something that we was kind of set out in the beginning. And I don't think it was. I think it's just that because we got on so well and loved each other in a platonic way, but we were had an intense relationship. I think they started to build according to that. And I, certainly my love for the Doctor, I think that was something that they decided on as it progressed. Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks.
Next question.
Hi.
Hello.
First, I wanted to say I hope you're feeling better.
Thank you.
for being with us.
Oh, thank you. You've all been really sweet about that.
I wanted to know what your favorite or most memorable moments were when you worked with both Chris and David.
Oh my God. I mean, there are so many. It's such a hard question to answer because, every day with the subject and the stuff that we're dealing with, there's so much potential for madness. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, there was one thing that David and I can't, it's awful, I can't remember. It was the one where I had the pink skirt on and...
Oh, Idiot's Lantern.
Hello, thank you. And I lose my face, and we had to obviously green screen that, so that would involve putting lots of dots all over my head. And there's a moment when they whip this bag off my head or some sack or something, and I'm kind of, as we were shooting it, I obviously just had all of these dots over my face. And for some reason, that became 25 takes or something. And we just couldn't hold it together. But it's usually something as ridiculous as that. And that day I left thinking, this is the best job. Just because, I don't know, it's just rare that you would be able to laugh that much at work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, we're down to the last few questions.
Oh, sorry. I was really babbling.
Again, thanks for coming over from the pond and being under the weather. But
Thank
better.
you.
So I'm a scientist, so I have this hypothesis about acting. That there are characters, actors who like to play characters that are close to themselves and kind of pull from their own emotions, and then those who like to play polar opposite of themselves. And you said that you just said 2 questions ago that you're closer to Rose. Do you like to play characters that are closer to you or farther away from you?
I think I prefer playing characters that are far removed. Do you know what I mean? But I always think there's something in the appeal of a part is often something that you can relate to. So you will draw on it initially, and then kind of leave that alone and enter another realm as much as you can. But I think Rose is probably the closest to me of any of the characters I've played. And so now I feel like I have to play something, kind of quite different. Because I suppose it becomes repetitive, basically. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm sure it was very emotional during Christopher's regeneration. I mean, you were there in the room with him when that happened. How did you feel about when David regenerated? Do you wish that that you could have been there with him when it happened as the character of Rose? Because of course he was by himself when it happened.
Yeah. No. I'm a day off for me. And I didn't really know him at this point, do you know what I mean? So, and yeah, I think it I was happy for him to go with it. It was a nice day off. And I got to see it eventually, so it's all good.
I'm very sorry, but this is going to have to be the last question. Sorry.
All right. My question is, out of the 3 doctors, Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, and John Hurt, which one did you like working with the most?
Which do I like working with the most?
Yes.
Out of all of the doctors?
Yes.
It'll be on Twitter in seconds.
I hate these questions.
Sorry.
Sorry.
That's the plan.
I know. Who do I enjoy working with the most? Oh man, I don't.
You're not obliged to answer it. If
But
you,
I
if you
don't
want to plead
feel-
the fifth, you can get out of that one.
But I just feel like if I chose one, that wouldn't actually be the truth, because I don't like working with David more than I like working with Matt. And obviously love working with John, but I know David and Matt more, so I guess I would be more bound to them somehow. But having to choose between those two is, forget it, it's impossible. Sorry. I'm sure you wanted something more controversial.
So thank you everyone for queuing up. I'm sorry we didn't get
Thanks.
to everyone's questions, but I've got to bring it to an end. But I just want to say one thing
Yeah.
to you, Billie. Lots of people here have been coming to Gallifrey conventions for very many years. One thing that significantly changed for the better when Rose first appeared on television was the sheer influx of younger girls into Doctor Who fandom. And fandom had become, in sort of the 90s and the early 2000s, a great fun place to be, but it was getting stale. It was all us old people and all just blokes and everything. And you came along and suddenly you brought with you an entirely new fandom, an entirely new race of people to our convention. And I think that's a testament to how brilliant a character Rose was, that suddenly the imagination of teenage girls all over the world, not just here, not just in Britain, but everywhere, suddenly wanted to get involved in this show and suddenly wanted to bring